Scott, you ready? Okay. Okay, good evening. Welcome to the Planning Advisory Board meeting of Thursday, May 14th, 2026. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Board Member James Castellane.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Okay, good evening. Secretary Byrne, please call the roll.
Chairman Stanko.
Here.
Member DiLeonardo is absent. Member Chabina.
Here.
Member Warner.
Here.
Member Castellane.
Here.
Member Spinelli.
Here.
Member Byrne is present. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Okay. Format for the meeting this evening includes a presentation from the applicant or applicants, questions and comments from the board members, followed by any interested parties who wish to address the board regarding the application. And we ask that anyone who wishes to speak on the application to come forward and address the board from the podium, stating their name and address for the record. And we'd like to give everybody a chance to speak tonight, so please try not to be repetitive in your comments, and if you have new information on the application that you'd like to share, we'd appreciate hearing it. We have 3 items this evening. The first item is 47 West Cherry Street, Hicksville, New York, followed by 20 and 40 Jerusalem Avenue in Hicksville, New York, followed by 321 Newbridge Road in Hicksville, New York. So the first item is 47 West Cherry Street, Hicksville, New York, 11801. The applicant is seeking a site plan approval from the Planning Advisory Board in accordance with the town's site design standards. This site plan application proposes the construction of a 10-townhouse development with associated site improvements. Each unit is 3 stories in height and includes a private garage and driveway access from the new development driveway. The proposed use for the property, subject property, is a permitted use pursuant to Chapter 246, Table 5.9.5.1 of the Code of the Town of Oyster Bay. Okay. Secretary Byrne, do you have any correspondence on this application?
Yes, Chairman. We have a memo from the Zoning Division dated January 10th, 2025, stating the subject property, subject property located at 47 West Cherry Street in Hicksville. I might have a typo on this. Has a Nassau County Land and Tax Map designation of Section 11, Block 297, Lot 143, and is located in HD2, Hicksville Downtown Subdistrict of the Town of Oyster Bay zoning map. We have a memo from the Department of Environmental Resources dated March 18th, recommending the adoption of a negative declaration for the purposes of seeker. We have a memo from the Code Enforcement Bureau dated January 15th, 2025, stating there are no open code cases for the subject property. Chairman, since this memo is several months old, the Planning Division contacted the Code Enforcement Bureau this week, and there are currently no open code cases. We have a memo from the town's Department of Public Works Highway Division dated January 13th, 2025, and Engineering Division dated January 13th, 2025, stating that they have reviewed the site plans and have no objections. We have resolution number 10,650-26 adopted on May 14th, 2026 from the Nassau County Planning Commission recommending local determination for this project. We have a memo from the Planning Division dated April 20th, 2026 stating the required parking for the subject property is 20 spaces and 20 spaces have been provided. We have a memo from the town's planning and development consultant Nelson and Pope and Voorhees dated September 10th, 2025 stating that they have conducted a review in accordance with Chapter 246, Section 5.9, zoning for the Hicksville downtown, and Section 6, site plan review of the Code of the Town of Oyster Bay, and is referring the site plan to the Planning Advisory Board for appropriate action. And we have the affidavit of sign posting and the affidavit of mailing from the applicant.
Okay, thank you, and good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Anthony Guardino, law firm of Farrell Fritz, for the applicant, Cherry Links LLC. Nice to see you all. I'm joined this evening by Walter Siebert, professional engineer with IMEG, and Sal Coco, the architect. He's with BHC Architects. Ishmeet and Gunit Singh, who are principals of Cherry Links, are also present to answer any questions the board may have if we are unable to answer them. So, as was mentioned by Mr. Byrne, Cherry Links is seeking site plan approval to construct. It's a 10-unit condominium, townhouse condominium development at 45-47 West Cherry Street in Hicksville. The development will be known as the Enclave at West Cherry. The use is expressly permitted, as was mentioned, under the applicable regulations of the Hicksville Downtown District and the HD Transition 2 Subdistrict, where the property is located. The buildings and the site have been laid out, and I think this is important, to comply with all of the applicable dimensional and bulk requirements, so no variances are needed or other discretionary approvals are needed from any board other than this one for site plan approval. So the site is about 3/4 of an acre in size. It's located on the north side of West Cherry in Hicksville, west of Broadway and east of Jerusalem Avenue. You have a map in your booklet there. It shows you the relative location of the property, and there's an aerial and tax map as well. The site is currently mostly vacant, but there are some small dilapidated frame buildings on the property, and there's a stucco garage, one-story stucco garage on the property. The western portion of the site is mostly vacant, and it was once the Trinity Lutheran Church community garden. The eastern portion is basically paved with crumbling asphalt, surrounded by a 12-foot high chain link fence with black fabric screening around it. That appears to have been the playground for the church and now appears to have been used most recently for car storage. All of the existing structures and all of that old asphalt will be removed and replaced with the proposed 10-unit townhouse development. The area surrounding the property, the subject property, is kind of characterized by a mix of residential, commercial, and industrial, as well as community uses. So you have photos of the surrounding properties in your booklet at Exhibit 6. Basically, to the north, there's a playground and basketball courts and fields that are associated with the Trinity Lutheran Church and school. And then further north, there is the Trinity Lutheran Church building facilities, and then further north, you have commercial and community uses. To the west is a private parking lot, and then that's followed by residences. To the south, across Cherry Street is my client's apartment building, which this board approved back in 2024. It's under construction. It's a 20-unit apartment building. And then further to the south, behind the apartment building, is the Bennett Hicksville Community Center. And then beyond that, you have more commercial and other community uses. And then to the east, you have single-family residences, followed by an industrial building. And then further to the east, but now across West Cherry on the south side, you have the Chroma paint site that is under review and that might even be approved at this point by this board, and that is for a proposed mixed-use building. As was mentioned, the townhouse development is just 10 units, so it's modest in size. It's 3 stories in height, which complies with code. You have the site plan drawings in your packet at Exhibit 7. Each of the buildings, it's 2 separate buildings. Each building will contain 5 townhouse units. The overall floor area of development is about 40,000 square feet in both buildings, and that includes the basement level. As was mentioned with regard to parking, each of the units will have a garage and will also have a private driveway in front of the garage. So there'll be parking, 1 space in and 1 space on the driveway. 6 of the units are going to face inward towards the other building, and 4 of the units are going to face West Cherry, which is again a requirement of the Hicksville downtown zoning. The site area outside will have common areas. Again, it's a condominium complex, so there's going to be common area around the building that will be controlled by an HOA to be created, and that will control and maintain the roadways, the lighting, fencing, landscaping, and also the drainage system. As was mentioned, the condominium lots were approved, at least preliminarily, by the Planning Commission, Nassau County Planning Commission, in October of 2025. Domestic water for the site will be from the Hicksville Water District, and the sanitary wastewater disposal will be from Nassau County Sewer System. There was a requirement for water main upgrades, and that was also in connection with the apartment building across the street, so that the buildings would have adequate domestic water and fire flow. It would meet the requirements for fire flow. My client entered into an agreement with the Hicksville Water District and is bearing the cost, at least in the first instance, to upgrade the water main. And that will be used by this building, the apartment building across the street, and eventually the Chroma Paint site, and maybe others that may develop in the area. The drainage system can accommodate 5 inches of stormwater runoff. And then with regard to architecture, and I'm going to leave that for Sal, the facades were designed with traditional architectural elements that complement the other structures in the neighborhood, but they also convey, as you can see on the cover of your booklet, a clean, modern appearance. And again, the buildings have been designed to comply with all of the requirements of the Hicksville Downtown Zoning District and the sub-district. I'm not going to go through the consistency, how this is consistent, because I think you have your own staff memos that have analyzed this consistency of this project with the requirements of the downtown zoning district and the sub-district. So at this point, if the board wants to hear more about the site plan, I have Walter Siebert, and I will call him. If you, Walter.
Good evening, Chairman, members of the board. Walter Sieber, associate with IMAG. Offices at 177 Crossways Park Drive, Woodbury, New York. I think Anthony gave you a very good overview of the site plan, so I'm not going to bore you with the same details. I can tell you that we have been working with the town, various departments, Nassau County Department of Health, Nassau County DPW, and have gone through a series of revisions to have the plans that have been brought before the board tonight for site plan approval. As Anthony indicated, this is in the HD2 transition district of the Hicksville overlay zone. The site does include the required furnishing zones in the front, where there'll be a stamped concrete pavement that is consistent with what was proposed across the street. So there'll be a continuity between the two projects at the apartment building and the proposed townhome development. We did incorporate green infrastructure within the central driveway. It's not just one field of asphalt. There'll be a 9-foot wide strip of permeable pavers. Also incorporated into the northeast corner of the property was a rain garden, which will add additional capacity to that 5 inches. We did not include that in the stormwater calculation, but that is a nice natural feature that'll be developed with the development of the subdivision. As Anthony indicated, we have spoken with Nassau County DPW with regards to the sanitary sewer. Each building will have a sanitary sewer main between the rear of the units and the property lines, and that'll be tied into the municipal main. Then the sanitary sewer will then be conveyed to the Nassau County DPW wastewater treatment plant. Potable water and fire protection will be provided to a private on-site main, so there'll be one master meter for the development. That was at the direction of the Hicksville Water Department. Plans are being processed with the Nassau County Health Department, and we are well into that process, and we'll hopefully have a approval for the water main meter and backflow shortly. Electric services was discussed with PSE&G. There will be underground electrical services to all of the units, and the existing utility poles and overhead electrical lines will be brought below grade across the frontage of the property. Additionally, the plans were submitted to the Nassau County Fire Marshal, and we did receive a letter from the Nassau County Fire Marshal stating that they had no comments or objections with regards to fire access and aerial apparatus staging to service the development. And then lastly, the site will be developed with an aesthetically pleasing, size-appropriate landscape palette. Composition of the plant material will be comprised of combination of deciduous trees, shrubs, evergreen shrubs, and specimen plantings at key locations, and a dense evergreen screening along the north, east, and the west side of the property, which will also be enclosed with a 6-foot-tall solid panel privacy fence. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them, but.
For the sanitations, how is that being done?
Sanitation will be managed through the HOA. The HOA will be responsible for contracting with a private carter. There'll be space allocated in each one of the garages for waste receptacles and recycles, and then on collection days, the unit owners will be responsible to bring their trash out to be collected on,
From each unit? That's
yes,
great.
correct.
What about snow removal?
So the site plans were developed as required by the town, planning to allocate spaces for snow storage. The HOA will be responsible for hiring a private contractor to maintain the private driveway and the entrances to the units.
And any excess will be shipped off-site or melted or?
If there is a problem with storage, yes, that would be their responsibility, but we did allocate space at the north end of the driveway
Yeah,
to store snow.
How about the lighting? Can you go over the
Lighting is, we selected a decorative light pole and fixture. The one that's been specified for this project is also the same fixture that was specified for the apartment building across the street, so there'll be that continuity there. Within the site, there are 12-foot tall light poles with a decorative LED fixture. Excuse me, allergies. And on West Cherry Street, there's 16-foot tall light poles that'll match the same fixture used throughout both developments.
And they're in front of the, in front of the units?
There's a small
Along-
landscape, well, small median in between the driveway spaces where they were strategically located, so it'll minimize impact with cars.
Anything on
entering.
the rear of the buildings?
We did provide a lighting plan that included a sconce. I should say that each unit will also have a small outdoor patio attached to each one of the
Oh,
units.
so it's low? on the
Yes,
ground.
they're down at grade.
Okay, nothing up, nothing above
I would
on
have
the
to
building?
defer to. Sal is saying that there are some balconies on the second level.
Okay, so the unit will just have its own light for the balcony?
Correct.
Not
They'll-
anything, not anything shining out?
A small sconce,
Okay.
typical with a residential scale.
Okay,
And that was all incorporated into our photometric plan that was included in the site plan package.
I assume that all of the air conditioning or heating and air conditioning units are going to be adequately screened?
They are shown on the site plans, and they'll all be at grade in front of the perimeter screening to the property.
And in that area to the northeast, that little rectangle, it kind of shows a pond there.
It's not a pond, it's a rain garden, it's a depression to, basically, it'll be designed to be inundated in heavy rainfalls,
Yeah.
but it's not going to continuously contain water.
In other words, there's going to be a dry well associated with that?
Yes, so the site, as Anthony mentioned, has been designed for a 5-inch rainfall storage that's going to be managed through 4 dry wells, 12-foot diameter, 20-foot effective depth, and 1 10-foot dry well, 10-foot effective depth. So that'll be storage and recharge of stormwater.
Okay, and that area will be maintained and...
That'll be part of the HOA's responsibility with the
If
landscaping.
the residents wish to use that, they could use that if they...
It's
so
more of a visual feature. It's pretty densely planted with plant material that's appropriate for a rain guard planting. It's to promote, insects, bees, butterflies, stuff like that.
are you going to have any signage,
Small monument sign in the median of the entrance. Site plan shows that sign at 18 inches by 36 inches on a small pedestal.
And is visitor parking on the street?
Visitor parking be on the street. There's, code requires 2 spaces per unit, so that's what's been provided.
And as far as the garage goes, what's the size of the garage? Because that seems kind of tight if it's also going to include garbage.
10 by 20, so
Do you know if there's any parking allowed or if there's any parking restrictions on West Cherry?
There is some no parking requirements, I think. Can you guys answer that question? It is.
There's parking on one side of the street and the other side is not.
Yes, okay, so one side of the street is on-street parking and one side of the street is no parking.
Do you know which side? It's which?
The north side,
The north side is no parking?
parking.
The north side is no parking?
I'm seeing cars parked on the north side, but not on the south side.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
And as far as exiting the property, do you need to have some kind of sign, right turn only, because the drive aisle seems to turn you that direction?
There's no restrictions on left turns or right turns out of the driveway. It's a one-way in and a one-way out.
You just have a stop sign there? Stop sign and a stop bar?
I don't think there was a stop sign. I
I'm
don't,
seeing a stop bar, but I'm not looking at the signage plan. You do have a stop sign on the one plan that I'm looking at.
okay,
So,
I apologize, I should have looked at that. Yes, so then there is a stop sign and a stop bar. The trip generations are very low for the 10 units.
10 units.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Are there any perimeter plantings that you have on?
Yes, there is a comprehensive, full evergreen screening being proposed on the east, west, and north sides of the property.
With irrigation, and then
There's
the
a full-
HOA will take over on that?
Full irrigation plan, and there's notes specify, water-saving technology for the irrigation plan, which would also be, irrigation system would also be maintained by a contractor hired by the HOA.
Are any of the units for low income, or is this just
They are all market rate.
all market rate? Okay.
Yeah, it's all market rate for ownership.
The no parking anytime signs, is that for the main drive area? You don't want any parking in there?
I believe the no parking signs were added to the front of the property on West Cherry Street. Oh, I'm sorry, the two no parking signs are at the end of the northerly end of the driveway, because that's the back out maneuvering for the last two units. So if there were cars parked there, it would impede the
Oh.
traffic movement coming out of that driveway and garage space.
It's one on each
Each side
section.
pointing in, correct.
How about parking down the center there? You don't want any parking on that main drive aisle?
It's not proposed, that's, if there was parking there, it would impede on the refuse truck. We did do a lot of turning movements with refuse collection trucks, fire trucks.
Okay. And, yeah, would a fire truck, if a car were parked there, would a fire truck be able to get down?
Parked in the middle,
Yeah.
it could, it would have, I don't want to say it would impede it on getting out, but it would make it more of a difficult maneuvering for the truck to get out.
So somebody could park down that main drive aisle
They could.
in front of their unit, say, if somebody came to visit?
For a short period of time, I think that could very well be a functional space to park the car.
If a car were parked there, could another car get down?
Absolutely. It's
could. There's
it's
plenty
like
of room.
30,
Okay.
Overall
And a fire
dimensional.
truck could make its way down?
yes.
Okay. Anything else?
I don't have anything else.
No?
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Good evening. Salvatore Coco, BHC Architects, 1300 Waldman Road, Melville, New York. I'm not sure what more to add to it. It's an elegant, new 10-story townhouse development, ownership three-story condos. All the parking is screened behind one central entry. The front porches along West Cherry, there'll be 4 units facing West Cherry and 6 in the internal courtyard, clad in hardy board, mostly an off-white color, and a cementitious base with cast stone accents. Large windows, bay windows, balconies, high-end finishes, metal roofs over the entries. It's really a high-end, great addition to West Cherry Street.
Any
Yes, sir.
sprinkler system in the units?
It'll be fully sprinklered. Yep.
And fire stops in the attics?
Yeah.
Do all of the units come with a lift? I see that it's.
It's an
there's a
optional,
space for it.
it's an
There's
optional
provision
lift.
for it. It's optional?
Yep, it would be owner-purchased lift, but
And
the
if-
space has been provided for it to go from basement to the top floor.
But if, if somebody were to move in and opted not to have it, it would be, you would be able to put a lift in there, am I correct?
The space has been provided, will be provided for it. If you don't want it, you don't have to put it.
Okay.
It's an owner-provided amenity.
But I'm just saying, somebody moved in, and as they age, they needed to be able, more mobility.
Yeah.
You could appropriate that space to put a lift in.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else? No? Anybody else on your? I have nothing further. Okay. Does anyone wish to speak on the application? Gentleman in the back? Oh, where? Okay, okay.
Good evening, Joel Burse, immediate past president of both Northwest Civic Association and the Hicksville Community Council, 66 Sackett Street, Hicksville. First of all, before I get into this, I want to thank the board for having the wisdom of making all 3 Hicksville things on one night so we could all come once.
We do something right, don't we?
That's something that doesn't always happen. So, on this hearing, I can say that I have been involved with the DRI before it even existed. I started as a board member and community leader in 1999. So I've been very intimately involved either directly or with information on all these things. I'm very happy that somebody asked about the snow removal because that's always an issue with all these kinds of developments. Fortunately, West Cherry Street is not a highly driven road, so I don't believe they'd have any issues with traffic. And being at the Hicksville Community Center quite often, to say the least, with everybody who knows me in the room, how many times I'm there with meetings or activities. I really think that this project, from all the things I've been told with Jim McCaffrey and all the others involved, that I think it's a good project. It'll be positive for the area, and I just thought for a change, you should hear somebody saying something nice instead of complaining. So, thank you very much, and I'll probably speak on the others too.
Thank you for your comments. Yes.
Charles Rasenson, 47 Elliott Drive, Hicksville, New York. I'm here on behalf of the Hicksville Chamber of Commerce. On behalf of the Board of the Chamber of Commerce, we hereby support this project and want to see it through to the end. We want it to be part of the downtown revitalization of Hicksville, and we thank the town for taking this matter so seriously to have the projects go about.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments.
Good evening,
Good
sir.
evening.
My name is Milton Hernandez. I reside at 32 West Cherry in Hicksville. I guess the plan is to build next to my house, okay? And right now, they're building in front of my house, and is an issue, okay? I have pictures here. They had a dumpster parked right in front of my house, a big-ass dumpster. and he created an accident. My wife's car got hit. I spent over $2,000 to repair it. I told the owner, move the thing. He was overseas, but obviously he's here. He made it to the meeting, but not to. Anyway, they finally moved it. They moved it back. Okay? Now, somebody, I heard, I think if I'm not mistaken, that it's not a very traffic block. Yes, it is. It connects from Jerusalem to 107. That connects in a way that everybody's flying. And that dumpster there, God forbid, one of these days, somebody's gonna hit that dumpster. And that's just what's going on in front of us. Next to us is gonna start building and stuff. I don't wanna be calling cops, I don't wanna be, calling somebody in charge to do something, okay? It's a very busy intersection. I have three sons, I have a driveway, I still have to park outside. And when some people go to the train station, they park out there too, and then they go to the train. So it's only one side you can park, the other side you're not allowed to. So I don't know how I hear things that, they support this, they support that, I don't care if they build, I don't care. Obviously, it's gonna make the town look nicer. But I just wanna be the burden of, also, when they build around my house, if I'm not gonna sell, at least I want privacy myself, as far as they want privacy also. So I don't want windows and stuff, I don't know, I'm not a designer, I'm not an architect. But I just wanna make my point clear that, it's something to think about. Now, they wanna build 10 townhouses. Do they have enough parking? That's a good question, for the area they have. Because before, they said they had enough parking across the street, whatever they were gonna build. At the time, you guys said, no, you gotta go back to the drawing board and do something better. They came up with the parking downstairs. That's why you have the parking now downstairs for, I don't know how many cars. And to be honest with you, if one of you guys go look over there, I don't know how people are gonna drive really to park. There's freaking poles all over the place. But that's their business, not mine. But, that's what's happening right now as far as, I'm there and I have a neighbor. Those are the only two houses, So think about it and make sure that there's enough space for parking, basically. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Anthony, let's take the dumpster first. You can do something about that.
Absolutely. I was just gonna, I'll
Wait a
reach
minute,
out.
wait, just, Joe.
Mr. Hernandez, I will give you my name and number. If there are any issues, obviously, if we move the dumpster, we'll move the dumpster.
They moved
and
it already, I'm
They moved it, okay. But if there's an issue while the construction is ongoing, I'll give you my name and number. Call me. I'll make sure that I get to the
I
client.
didn't come here to say, hey, I want my $2,000, but I'm not gonna be spending money for stupidity like this.
We'll make
Well,
sure that
that's
that
what-
doesn't happen.
Legally, there's not supposed to be a dumpster on the street. I could've called the cops and say something and, it becomes bigger. I don't want that. I just want someone to be in charge and take care of things.
Okay, well, we're trying to take care of that. What about the parking? You got enough
The
parking?
parking, this enough. We meet the code. We have the requirements. I know that Nelson and Pope reviewed it, came to the
Okay.
same conclusion. There is enough parking.
But construction items like that, the dumpster, you gotta take care of that. for
We'll
them.
take care of it.
Okay,
I'll give you my word on that.
Okay.
And like I said, I'm gonna give you my number.
okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I have nothing further.
Good evening, my name is Manglani Inder, and I have a property on West Cherry Street. West Cherry Street is always busy. Okay, I have 15,000 square feet, and I have all the time big trucks comes and go. So traffic and, cars are always standing, people who goes to station, Hicksville Station, they park there, all the time. And another time in the snow time, all the cars are parked, so street is never snowed right. And every time there's an accident. Always the fender. I don't know how you guys are going to do the parking, how these guys are going to do parking. That's looks to me very tough.
Well, thank you for your comments. Yeah. Thank you, Anthony. Anything else, anyone else wants to share? We heard some comments, we try to take care of them for you, and Anthony, make sure the construction goes well, please. We have neighbors there. I know it's off the beaten path, but you have neighbors there.
Understood.
Okay. Anyone else up here have comments? There being none, I'll entertain a motion on the application.
Second motion. I'll make a motion that we approve the plans as submitted.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, poll the
Voting
board.
on the motion by Member Warner, seconded by Member Castellane. Chairman Stanko?
Aye.
Member Chabina?
Aye.
Member Warner?
Aye.
Member Castellane?
Aye.
Member Spinelli?
Aye.
Member Byrne? Aye. Chairman, the motion carries.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
very much. Nice.
Thank you. Good luck with the project.
Thanks.
Okay, the second item this evening is 20 and 40 Jerusalem Avenue, Hicksville, New York, 11801. The applicant is seeking a site plan approval from the Planning Advisory Board in accordance with the town's site design standards. This site plan application proposes the redevelopment of the site to accommodate the existing Bank of America building and the construction of a four-story, 184,214 square foot mixed-use building containing 106 residential units on floors 2 and 4 and 3,247 square feet of ground-level retail space and a two-level, 241-stall parking garage with associated site improvements. The proposed use for the property is a permitted use pursuant to Chapter 246, Table 5.9.5.1 of the Code of the Town of Oyster Bay. And Secretary Byrne, do you have any correspondence on this application?
Yes, Chairman. We have a memo from the Zoning Division dated January 14th, 2025, stating the subject property located at 20 and 40 Jerusalem Avenue, Hicksville, New York, 11801, has a Nassau County Land and Tax Map designation of Section 11, Block 179, Lots 5 through 21, 29 through 33, 102, 104, 125, 202, 204, 223, 227, and 323, and is located within the HD1 Hicksville Downtown Subdistrict of the town zoning maps. We have a memo from the Department of Environmental Resources dated April 2nd, 2026, recommending the adoption of a negative declaration for the purposes of seeker. We have a memo from the Code Enforcement Bureau dated January 15th, 2025, stating there are no open code cases on the subject property. Chairman, since this memo is several months old, the Planning Division contacted the Code Enforcement Bureau this week, and there are currently no open code violations. We have a memo from the town's Department of Public Works Highway Division dated January 17th, 2025, and the Engineering Division dated March 30th, 2026, stating they have reviewed the site plans and have no objections. We have resolution number 10,649-26 adopted on April 23rd, 2026 from the Nassau County Planning Commission recommending local determination for this project. We have a memo from the Planning Division dated May 11th, 2026 stating the required parking for the subject property is 241 spaces and 241 spaces have been provided. We have a memo from the town's Planning and Development Consultant Nelson Pope and Voorhees dated April 7th, 2026 stating that they have conducted a review in accordance with Chapter 246, Section 5.9, zoning for the Hicksville downtown, and Section 6, site plan review of the Code of the Town of Oyster Bay, and are referring the site plan to the Planning Advisory Board for appropriate action. And we have the affidavit of sign posting and the affidavit of mailing.
Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, Chairman, members of the board. For the record, Philip Butler with the law firm of Forcelli, Deegan, Toronto, on behalf of the applicant. If I may also add to the correspondence, I have a collection here of about 17 letters in support from individuals living and working in the Hicksville area, so I'll hand this up. So as was mentioned, Philip Butler, Forcelli Deacon. I'm here tonight with Anthony Bartone, CEO of Terwilliger Bartone, Matt Aylward and Kian Cody with R&M Engineering, Glenn Cerveni with GRCH, and Gary Rosmus, our environmental engineer. So we are seeking site plan approval for an as-of-right mixed-use development at 20 and 40 Jerusalem Avenue. It's the site of the existing Bank of America building. We're seeking approval for a mixed-use building with 106 dwelling units with on-site amenities and roughly 3,200 square feet of commercial retail space on the ground floor. The Bank of America building will remain in its present state and location. However, it will be undergoing some significant facade renovations to bring it up to a more modern appearance. We will also be preserving the Long Island mural that's on the side of that building. That was an important feature for both the town and the civics. There are some renderings provided at Exhibit 1 of your materials that depict the project as it will appear once constructed. I also have them up on the monitor for the board and for the public. So we submit that the project should be approved as presented this evening for a number of reasons. First of all, it's fully code compliant, requiring no variances. It's been vetted very thoroughly by both the town and also its outside consultants, Nelson Pope and Voorhees and LKMA, which all of whom have signed off on the project. So it is 100% code compliant. It's also consistent with the goals and intent of the Hicksville Downtown Revitalization Program. At the same time, the applicant will be undertaking a voluntary cleanup of contamination on a portion of the site associated with a laundromat and dry cleaner on 40 Jerusalem Avenue at a cost of about $5 million. And that will be done through the New York State Brownfields Cleanup Program. Okay, seem to be out of juice. If you refer to Exhibit 3 in the booklet that I provided, you'll find a copy of the downtown revitalization map. You'll see that the site is located entirely in the HD1 core district, which specifically contemplates higher density housing in low-rise mixed-use buildings. Exhibit 4, which is a property survey, the property is roughly 1.94 acres in a sort of a triangular shape bounded by Nelson Avenue to the north and west, West Marie Street to the south, and Jerusalem Avenue to the east. The surrounding area, as I'm sure the board is aware, is a mix of commercial and residential properties that are also in the Hicksville Downtown Revitalization Area. And of course, the Alpine development known as 99 Newbridge that's currently under construction is directly across the street on Nelson Avenue. Originally, this project consisted solely of the Bank of America property, 20 Jerusalem. Through discussions with the town, they expressed their desire that we try to capture as much of the block in the redevelopment as possible. So as a result of that suggestion, my client went out and they spoke with the owner of 40 Jerusalem Avenue, and through a very lengthy course of negotiations, were able to get them to sign on to this project as well. So the applicant has been able to acquire that site and include it into the project today, which is why it's now the 1.94 acres. But as I mentioned, we're going to be undertaking some significant remediation as a result of that. So moving on to Exhibit 5, which is a colorized site plan, you'll see that the site is laid out as a 4-story building with 106 units on floors 2 through 4 with the ground floor commercial and retail space. 40 Jerusalem Avenue will be yes.
Do you have slides to go with this?
I do, but the
Okay.
remote is kind of.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but
Okay.
everything that's on the slides I've provided in the hard copy that I
Okay.
handed in. So
Okay.
if I'm referring to exhibits, you have them in front of you. See, this is why I don't trust technology. Here we go. Okay, so now I'm on Exhibit 5. And Exhibit 5 in your booklet. So again, 40 Jerusalem Avenue will be raised to make way for the project. The Bank of America building will remain. The density for the project equates to roughly 50 units per acre, which we studied and is consistent with the Alpine development across the street, as well as the Fieldstone project at 82 North Broadway. The current unit mix calls for 22 studios, 61 one-bedroom units, and 23 two-bedroom units. 10% of those will be affordable in compliance with the Long Island Affordable Workforce Housing Law. Those units will likely be leased at 80% of AMI. Building amenities will include a 970-square-foot fitness center, a rooftop terrace, a dog run, concierge trash and recycling service, and EV charging stations. The project, as mentioned, will also include 241 parking spaces, which meets code, which will serve both the proposed development as well as the Bank of America building. Approximately half of the parking will be at an at-grade parking lot that is partially under the building, and there will be one full level of underground parking. The below-grade parking will be reserved for residents only. In accordance with the Hicksville Downtown Revitalization Guidelines, the project has been designed to be consistent with a walkable downtown environment, with the inclusion of commercial and retail space on Nelson Avenue and 20-foot wide sidewalks and street and foundation landscaping throughout the site. Architecture is also consistent with the revitalization guidelines. It is complementary to the Alpine development while maintaining its own unique architectural style, and our architect, Glenn Trevani, will have more on that in a moment. As mentioned, we'll also be benefiting the community through the remediation of the contaminated soils. On September 25th of last year, the Nassau County Planning Commission approved a minor two-lot subdivision of the site to allow that portion of the site to be enrolled in the Brownfields program. On November 10th of last year, we met with the Northwest Civic Association. I know they're here this evening. I'm sure they'll be speaking on their own behalf. Superintendent Fulton from the Hicksville School District also attended that meeting. In our estimation, that meeting went very well. We believe they support our project, but as I mentioned, I'll let them speak for themselves on that. We also met with the Hicksville Fire Department, had some productive meetings there. And then, as was mentioned, there was a memo from April 2nd of this year from the town's Department of Environmental Resources recommending a negative declaration of significance. And I think that is a very significant milestone for this project, because I think we went through about 4 iterations of review through the town's outside consultant, Nelson Pope and Voorhees, and LKMA. The project was vetted very extensively, rightfully so, but through that process, we refined this project to not only be code compliant, but I think we did a really good job of addressing all their comments and concerns, particularly with things like traffic. So I think Mr. Byrne also mentioned the Nassau County Planning Commission issued a local determination finding on April 23rd. And with that, I would like to call up Matt Aylward, who is our civil engineer on the project, to walk the board through some of the finer points of the layout of the site and to answer some of the questions that I think the board is going to want to have answers on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Matthew Aylward with R&M Engineering, 50 Elm Street in Huntington, the civil engineer for the project. As Mr. Butler had stated, the project is 1.94 acres, and the plan is to demolish the existing deli and laundromat, as well as the ATM kiosk that is in the parking lot of the Bank of America building. The ATM kiosk will be relocated to the south side of the Bank of America building, with this being the dedicated drive-through lane for the Bank of America. The proposed apartment building is 4 stories in height, with 3 stories of apartments on the upper floors totaling 106 units. Retail stores and at-grade parking comprise the first floor or at-grade ground level of the project. Below the building is 121 below-grade parking stalls. All right, those stalls will be specifically and exclusively for the residents of the apartment building. As Mr. Butler stated, Nelson Avenue is to the west and to the north. Jerusalem Avenue is to the east, with a portion of the property fronting West Marie. There are 4 total curb cuts proposed for circulation to the site. This south one here on Nelson Avenue is a 2-way access, which is a ramp down to the subgrade parking with 121 parking stalls. It'll be gated, and a key card will be required so that it maintains only residents accessing that area. There's a second curb cut here on Nelson, which is between the Bank of America building and the proposed building. That allows for circulation into this small parking area for the Bank of America, as well as access into this at-grade parking area underneath the building. There's a third curb cut on Jerusalem Avenue. This is specifically just an egress, identified only for the drive-through patrons, or actually even anybody that would like to proceed out that direction, provided that it's clear to go. This 4th curb cut here on the south end of the property is access into the at-grade parking and allows for circulation all the way through up into towards the Bank of America, as well as any access and parking in here. The project was designed with setbacks of the Hicksville Downtown District, HD1, where we met the setbacks and the build-to lines. Nelson Avenue has a 22-foot wide public frontage from curb line to building facade, as required as an A street type. 22 feet is required, 22 feet is provided. Jerusalem Avenue, a B-type street, maintains an 18-foot public frontage from curb line to building facade. 18 feet is required. West Marie Street, a D-type street, maintains a 19-foot wide public frontage from curb line to building facades where 13 feet is required. The building height, as stated, was 4 stories, a little over 49 feet, where 4 stories and 50 feet is permitted. The side yard setbacks meet the minimum 5-foot requirement. With the proximity of the buildings to Jerusalem and to Nelson, it was determined through meetings with the Hicksville Fire Department that there was adequate access to the buildings for fire apparatus and access of emergency vehicles. This pass-through was identified as not necessarily needed, but could be used if so desired. With regard to landscaping, the site development proposes 19 street trees along all 3 frontages. 19 street trees along all 3 frontages, in addition to foundation plantings and plantings within planter boxes. Street trees consist of London plane trees evenly spaced along the frontage. Where hardscape abuts, an example of Nelson Avenue, where the hardscape abuts the building facade, planter boxes are proposed. The planter boxes will contain inkberry, shamrock holly, and compact inkberry. Those planter boxes will be self-watering. They'll be hard plumbed so that constant irrigation goes. It won't require a person to go out and manually irrigate. Where the hardscape does not abut the building, as here in Jerusalem, we're able to plant more robust, different variety of plantings, which include cherry laurel, northern bayberry, and shamrock holly. These plantings, coupled with public benches, bike racks, and waste receptacles along Nelson Avenue, Jerusalem Avenue, and West Marie Street, along with decorative roadway lighting, we believe meet the requirements of the HD guidelines and will create a welcoming and colorful street frontage. Lastly, site infrastructure design will meet all the requirements of the town and the county. Applications have been made to the Hicksville Water District, Nassau County DPW for both sewer and for 239F. Stormwater capacity is designed to meet the requirements of both the town and the county. And all site lighting will be dark skies compliant, including the street lighting. We're proposing interior area lights here and here, and as I said, decorative street lightings around the perimeter of the property. Snow storage will be snow storage will occur in the landscaped areas, such as here, here. It's not a very big paved area, so we believe we can accommodate it in certain paved areas. And then down here, we have these landscaped islands here, a space here, and then some islands over here. Any storage, any snow that cannot be stored on the site will be removed. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Is any of the parking assigned?
Yes. So like we said, the subgrade parking is exclusively for the residents. That's 121 parking stalls for the 106 residents. There is an additional 16 stalls that are required to be provided for the residents. That starts in this area here. So these will be exclusively for the residents as well.
Okay.
All the remainder of the on-surface
So
parking.
there'll be assigned numbers or assigned actual spots or not open?
There's
parking?
assigned spots for the 106 residents.
Okay,
If they
all
want
right.
additional stalls, then they can
Okay.
negotiate for that.
Okay.
All right, and then the remainder of the at-grade parking will be for the office, the bank, as well as the retail spaces that are proposed.
My
in the
other
new
question,
building.
is the bank part of this whole ownership? Is that part of that plan, or is that a separate entity, Bank of America? Or is it all under one
Like
umbrella?
a joint,
Yeah,
that's,
It'll be separate. So the Bank of America building will be owned by a separate entity, but the site will function as a single site. So
Okay,
if I
all
didn't,
right.
if I didn't mention it, there will be.
I just
a-
wasn't sure how it
Yeah.
fit in.
If I didn't mention it, there will be cross-access and cross-parking between the two sites so
Okay.
that they all operate together.
Okay.
correct, and then the parking for the office and the bank can be underneath the proposed apartment building.
Regarding the retail or restaurant uses that you're proposing, are there any, is there any parking available on site for those uses?
Yes, that is
And,
accommodated.
in other words, there'll be a front door on Jerusalem and one in the back also where people can go in?
I don't believe there's going to be access internally for the retail space here. This is a retail space here, as well as a retail space here. I don't believe there will be access along the rear because I think that's back of the house for
Right.
the retail space, so yes, they'll have to walk around.
But
to get to the front.
will there be, you might have said it and I missed it, but are there going to be designated spots for those commercial uses? Or, because, I mean, you're saying that all the spots on the site for the residents are going to be assigned to each resident. So, you know, I mean, I would not want people wanting to use the restaurant or the whatever, parking in one of the residents' spots.
Correct, so like, the residents will park in the below grade. You have the drawing? They'll park in the below grade, which is this. This is entirely subterranean. So the ramp comes down on this side.
Right.
Goes down. That's exclusively for the residences. There's an additional space here, which will be signed off. There'll be signage here, limiting people from parking here unless they're residents. The remainder of all this parking will be open to the retail, as well as Bank of America and the office building.
Okay.
So are those accessible parking spaces for the retail?
Yes. Yeah, and again, they're accessed by Nelson and/or Jerusalem.
And there doesn't need to be any accessible parking closer to the bank?
There's accessible parking here on the top by the bank.
Sorry, thank
Yeah,
you.
no problem.
Question, has the traffic count for the roads taken in consideration 99 New Bridge? Because
Traffic
there's such
engineers
density
here.
now in that particular area, and they're older roads.
Okay, yeah, I can turn it over to the traffic engineer.
Key and Cody with R&M Engineering, office at 50 Elm Street. Just give me a second. We did do a full traffic impact study, which was reviewed by the town and their outside consultants. Included in that, we did look at other planned projects in the area. I just got to pull it up. We did look at 99 New Bridge. We also looked at 330 Old Country Road, 82 North Broadway, 449 West John, and 358 North Broadway in our traffic impact study.
Good, it looks like it'll all work.
Yes, we didn't really find any changes in the level of service at the intersections that we studied.
How about trash pickup for the facility?
Good question. We have a proposed refuse enclosure here for the bank and the office building, as well as a dual container here down at the south for the apartment building and the retail uses. And that'll be picked up on a scheduled basis as needed.
So residents have to bring their
Yes.
trash out?
Doing the trash valet? So what they offer at these facilities is a trash valet, where they take their waste, their garbage, they put it outside the door of their apartment, and then somebody comes through, picks it
Oh,
all up.
okay, and then consolidates
deposits
it.
And
in those-
organizes it, right.
Okay, okay.
Will
Yep.
there be a live-in super or manager or something for the building? You know, that.
There's full staff.
A maintenance man or something like that?
There's full staff on site, not living there, but there is during the daytime. Yeah. And then emergency access there, accessible.
They'll be there in the daytime and then for
On call
emergencies at night
Yeah,
or
they'll
whatever?
be on call.
Okay.
For the loading space, I see it's on the north end of the building, south of the bank.
Yep.
But it looks like that's also where the drive-through for the ATM is gonna be. Is there some kind of protection for people who are loading in and out so that they aren't exposed to the people going to the drive-through?
As far as protection, not so much. This is the loading area that we're talking about here, and then this is the drive-through here. This area affords Amazon, UPS, just to stop here, even maybe Uber or something like that. If they're gonna go this way, they can walk this way. As far as crossing the drive-through, that's gonna be kind of a.
Right,
like,
but it's
eye contact
striped,
type
it's
thing.
not bollards.
No,
bollarding.
it's open striping, correct. And it functions we believe it functions very well, because this is not a required egress for the parking stalls. It's a required egress for the drive-through. And if a truck were to park here and there were to be somebody in the drive-through, anybody that's trying to leave through these two parking areas will simply see that and then accommodate and turn left to go to Nelson.
You only have one elevator bank, right, in this
I'm
building?
sorry?
One elevator bank in this building?
One shaft, two cars,
So one bank,
one bank.
and it's on the opposite side of the loading dock?
It
So
is,
if people want to move in with couches and stuff and load in the loading area, they have to walk it all the way to the other side of the site?
correct.
How does that work?
Unless it's organized through the management, that they can then use perhaps some of these stalls to do their loading.
So you don't have a
and unloading.
loading area for the residents?
Well, the residents would pull in, if it's a moving truck, the truck's gonna have to
Yeah,
park,
you have
the truck will
106
have to park
units
here.
with furniture.
No, what I'm saying is the truck will have to park here, and then they'll have to just,
Walk it.
Walk it
all the way
over.
to the other side of the site, through a
Correct.
parking lot.
yep.
That's interesting.
I think Mr. Butler said something about a recreational area on the roof.
Yes. Our architect is here, and he could touch on
I
that.
didn't see, I thought that I saw something in one of the notes that the roof was going to be solely just used for HVAC and mechanical.
It's not on the roof. It's on the fourth floor.
Okay, that's what I want to clarify.
Yeah, it's on the fourth floor here.
You want to just state your name and address, and then we'll go from there.
Good evening. My name is Glenn Chaveni. I'm with GRCH Architecture, the principal of GRCH Architecture, Islandia, New York. To respond to that one specific question, this is our elevation along Nelson, and this impression here, which is not a space on top of this roof, but on level with the fourth floor. And it's serviced by a lounge directly next to an indoor lounge next to it. So this is sort of a balcony or a terrace, we call it, but it's not on the roof.
Okay.
And so it's covered? It's enclosed?
Three sides.
Three sides? Okay, all right.
For the landscaping on Jerusalem, at the two exits to turn onto the street, it looks like there's fairly large trees right at the corner. Was there any consideration for moving those, I'll say, more planned north, so that there'd be more visibility when turning left?
Yes, yes, we're actually working with the DPW right now through that, so we have that site triangle coming out of those intersections, correct?
Thank you.
I know it probably complies to the building codes, and I know that we're really not into the building codes, but there's only 9 handicap spots. That seems like for a building of this size, that many units, that and they're basically, if I'm correct, in the area that you said was gonna be reserved
For residents.
for the restaurants.
For the residents, correct?
Well, for
Yeah.
the restaurants or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, where do the handicapped people that are living in the building, where do they park?
So the number of parking stalls that we have for ADA meets the ADA requirements,
understand
right,
that.
based on the total number of stalls. There's the stalls dedicated up here by the Bank of America in the office building. There's, these ADA stalls here are for the residents as well as the ones that are in the below grade.
But I thought you said that residents would not be allowed to park in there.
Residents are going to be parking downstairs where there's 4 ADA stalls, as well as in this area here where there's 3 ADA stalls.
Okay,
And then there's some near the bank?
And there's 2 near the bank.
okay, all right. I'm sorry, I had it reversed then.
Yep.
But there's no accessible spaces in the vicinity of the retail.
Well, the parking,
Yeah,
yes.
I'd make a suggestion, it's not
Yeah.
a deal breaker, but I would move some of the accessible spaces for the residents up, because you can assign spaces, and then you can have the accessible spaces maybe a little closer to the retail space, so those are free spaces, so someone that wants to go to a retail store can get in safely.
I don't disagree.
It's just a suggestion.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you're gonna number all the spaces. and
Dimensions are all the
Anyone that
same.
needs to be close to the lobby, you can give them that, you can assign them that space.
Yep.
Looking at the charging stations, I didn't see an accessible space for them. I think code is gonna require that at least one of those be accessible.
Okay.
So you're probably gonna lose a space there. It looks like you might be able to add a space up in the Bank of America, the top left northwest. Looks like you may be able to get one more space there to
Okay.
offset, so you still comply. It's a suggestion, because once you get to the state code review, they're gonna say you need an accessible for the charging station as
Charging.
well.
Is that new to the new code?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you could move it on the other side and, you know, if you're gonna move those accessible spaces up to the retail, I don't know what it does to your site. It's just an option, maybe you move one over there.
Right. That's a good idea.
Two birds with one stone. Yeah.
Then it's in the
Yeah.
building. Up north, okay. Sure.
Yeah, yeah. So I think it's all fixable.
You guys want to hear about the building?
Anything else, Scott?
Just the dumpster enclosure at the Bank of America, what are the materials that are gonna be used for the dumpster enclosure itself? Is it-
Typically, what we do is the concrete block, CMU,
Concrete
that would
blocks?
match, like a texture that would match the building that's adjacent to.
Perfect, that's
Yeah,
perfect.
Color and texture.
Yeah, yeah, it's along the street, that's perfect.
And well as it's screened by evergreens.
So, yeah.
Will you have any signage designating the area? A sign or?
There will be
name?
signage for the retail spaces down on the
Right.
first floor.
Any sign for the name of, what's the name, what do you, oh, the corner. So you'll have a sign designating that? Well, no, if you, how are you going to designate the cornerstone? In other words, is you going to have a sign designating the name of the
On the
facility?
building itself.
On the building?
Yeah, there will
okay.
be no monument sign or anything
Okay.
like that, yeah.
Mike, anything? James? No?
Oh, I just would be remiss if I didn't bring up the parking space lines. The town requires the California striping, I call it California, I don't know, which is the double line.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing it on your plan, not that I couldn't have missed it, but,
No, you're correct. We show it as a single line.
Yeah.
But then our detail has for the double
they
line.
will be,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep. Yeah, it gets a little crowded with the double
Yeah.
lines on the small one.
The audience?
Scott, anything?
I saw some notes on the plans. Is there Uber pickup areas or?
That, yes, we designated that as the
Okay.
loading stuff.
And is that like Amazon drop-off too?
That's the same area, yes. And there's signage that is proposed in this area, identifying the Uber drivers to queue up in this area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way
If you-
that would work is you come plan west to the loading dock then?
Correct, you have to come from Nelson and come through. Uber drivers could potentially come this way and then loop in.
Yeah, if you're able to pick up that spot and you don't need it for the charging station, I would suggest maybe making could even be a smaller loading space, a regular sized one, maybe just south of the retail.
Okay.
Just a little closer to the lobby, I would say, if people are getting picked up, so I don't have to, go across the whole parking lot.
Stay under the building in a
If
sense?
you can get
Yeah.
that extra space, I think it would
Okay.
enhance the site.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Scott? Okay. Anything else?
Do you want to hear from the
to
architects?
add? Oh, yes, yes.
Many of these boards have been presented up on the screen. So this first board is showing you from Nelson and Marie, this elevation here. And what I really wanted to point out on this elevation here is the significant architectural feature, which is, right, that corner element is going to be, it's a 4-story. We have ground floor retail above that apartment, and then we shift to a nice shingle. So the combination of this building, even though it's a modern building, it's clad in traditional materials. We have shingle, we have brick, and we have panel siding. So as you can see in this elevation, what gives us the mixed-use appearance is how the materials do alternate as we go down Nelson. And you can see, I think they've done very well in terms of the amount of balance that we have between the shingle and the brick and the panel. It gives you somewhat of a very, very attractive appeal as you traverse down Nelson. And here is that rooftop, 4th floor element here, and this is the lounge next door to it here. Here's a commercial space here. We have a commercial space here, and there's one here at the corner. I do want to mention too that the design guidelines, the core district, we offer a shop front design of ground floor window percentages. We meet that. The parking lot wall openings are screened. They're green walls, so the openings are screened with plantings. The sidewalk zone includes balconies, awnings, the signage and lighting for the sidewalk zone, wide pedestrian sidewalks and planters, as Matt had mentioned. Signature architectural features, which there are many, but this is certainly one that I did want to call to your attention because we think it's going to be quite beautiful. And it's modern style architecture, which we think for the downtown, this is going to be a beautiful looking building. We have this board here, which is just somewhat revealing of a before and after. So here's the existing Nelson Avenue, and this is the before, and this is what we're proposing for the after. And here is the corner of Nelson and Marie, the parking lot at the corner, and here's what we're proposing here. So we think it's a pretty stark transition from the before and after, so I wanted to show you that. We have a neat rendering here. This is the Alpine building here, and this is the Cornerstone at Hicksville apartment building here. So we're looking at a bird's eye view, looking down Nelson Avenue, looking north, and this is potentially what this all could look like when it's constructed, and we think that looks pretty amazing. Also, I do have some floor plans. This is a typical floor plan here, and it's just showing a typical studio, 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom. And here is that 4th floor terrace area, and its lounge next to it. So I just wanted to show that to you. And this not only will be a very strong attraction for the apartment community, but also its presence on Nelson will be very, very strong. I know there's been a lot of talk, but these plans might help make it read better. This is the ground floor, so here is commercial space there in the corner. And this is the entrance to our building along with the fitness center here. So we are fairly balanced along Nelson with commercial spaces. This is that ramp that takes you down into the lower level. So this is the ground floor parking area. This is the open air parking area in the back. And this is the 121 spaces on the ground floor level. And the below grade level parking, which is serviced by this ramp from Nelson down here, so all of that open air parking above here, which is now covered parking down here. So that gives us another 121 spaces. So this is the Bank of America building. This will be the new ATM access on the side of the building here, and this will be the access to the indoor access of the building from here, the commercial space and the bank space. And this is looking from Jerusalem. Here's our building, and beyond is the Bank of America building there. these are just larger images. I thought it'd be nice to show, because those are rather small. So this is that same Nelson and Maria, but a little more dramatic to see it in a scale this size. This is gonna be something that's gonna be pretty spectacular, and we've met most of the design guidelines, or if not all of them, and these are the last few boards. This shows the bank a little bit better. So, a little bit larger. So this is, again, Jerusalem, here's the bank beyond. And the bank has been upgraded. We've added cultured stone to it, that was shown in the last image. And this is our view from our building from Jerusalem. And here you see the view of that bank from Jerusalem. Quite a different look. And here, we input the mural, the mosaic mural, which will be repaired and restored. And this was just the last image of the bank. Don't allow a lot of things shown about the bank. This is the entrance again. Here's the cultured stone that's being added. Some stucco panel, metal panel. So we think that this is going to be a very, very strong appeal and balance with our apartment building. Do you have any questions for me?
It's nice the way you rounded off that corner of that building to meet that spot.
That was recommended by the town.
Well, good move.
I'm giving you your props.
Any other comments, or? No? Okay. How active is that bank? Is it offices?
It's an office. It's an office building.
It's office?
Yeah.
Okay.
There
And
is an
with a-
ATM there, but
with
it's
an
an office building.
ATM, and that's it?
Yep.
Okay, okay. All right, you have anything to?
That concludes our presentation, so we're happy to hear any comments from the board or from the
Okay.
public, and we'll summarize at the end.
Good, thank you. Is there anyone at this point who would like to speak? Start with you over there, so you, and I'll go to you second.
Charles Razenson, 47 Elliott Drive, Hicksville, New York, President of the Hicksville Chamber of Commerce. On behalf of the Hicksville Chamber of Commerce, we hereby support this building and for the downtown beautification. Just so you know, on your ADA issue that you were talking about, I looked it up on the chart for ADA. They're only required 6 spots on the property, according to the amount of people that will be there. That is in federal guidelines that were set up. There's also no requirement under the ADA law to set up a charging system specifically for.
Yeah, I believe it's in the New York State Code.
New York State isn't even enforcing their proper code. Let me just, so you know, it requires 175 parking spaces at UBS Arena in front of the building. There are 27. That's it. So I don't care really what New York State Code says, because New York State Code isn't being enforced by New York State. Just so you know, the federal guidelines say 6, they're offering 9. That's better than what New York State has been offering for people with ADA problems. Just
to let you know, so the town of Oyster Bay, when they issue the building permit, is required to enforce the New York State building code.
Okay, that's
So
fine.
they'll
I'm
have
just
to do
saying,
that. So if
just so
it's in-
you understand what the guidelines are within, the state has been doing. Because they haven't done it there, and they haven't done it at the Jones Beach Theater either. They don't have the proper handicap parking there either. So
Yeah.
I think that's
The town
very
has no-
nice that these people have exceeded the amount needed and is willing to set up an ADA charging system for handicapped people.
Okay, thank you. Next. No, I got one before you. Can somebody take down that chart so I can just see beyond? Okay, thank you.
Good evening again, Joel Burst, immediate past president, Northwest Civic Association and Hicksville Community Council, and I'll add another hat. I am the ranking member of the Nassau County Bus Transit Committee that oversees nice bus operations.
You've been before us. You came here before.
Many times.
Yeah.
Yes. As far as the presentation that they made at Northwest last fall, it was received very well. There were concerns about that mosaic piece of artwork, and it seems that the applicant has addressed that. They are going to join with the school and some other things in order to preserve it. So that was a major concern. A couple of issues that I have with traffic that I just want everybody to be mindful of. At rush hour from about 4:30 to 7:30 every day, as Monday through Friday, as the trains arrive at the station, Jerusalem Avenue southbound becomes a gridlock when the trains arrive. It's not the entire 3-hour span, but every time a train arrives, going down till you get to Old Country Road is a gridlock, and you get people driving ridiculously, creating 2 lanes where there really is one. And that goes right past the bank building. And it's not the fault of the bank building, but just have to be mindful whatever they set up with that driveway on Jerusalem Avenue to respect that. The other thought that I have is the Alpine property and this property have been set up to complement each other, and it'll make it a very nice area for the DRI down there. A concern that I raised when we talked about the Alpine property was that area of Nelson Avenue is where the buses end their run and then go around to go to the other side to start their runs the next time they begin, northbound on Newbridge Road. Some of the buses have a holding area along Newbridge Road south of Duffy Avenue, but a bunch of them just end their run on Jerusalem, turn around through Nelson and get right on to Newbridge Road before they start heading northbound again. So when the construction is going on, just like we asked Alpine to do, was to keep Nice Bus informed if there are any disruptions are going to be in that roadway and going around. And I must say that Alpine has been extremely cooperative with that. We only had a couple of days where when they were doing some construction, fortunately, it didn't jibe when we had the snow removal, which was a challenge in the winter, especially this year. So just that should be something that's thought about, considered, and they should be held responsible to do. And as long as they do the way Alpine did, I don't see any problems. And in general, again, this has been received by the community very well. And it's a well thought out and well worked on project. The town has spent a lot of time, just like they did with Alpine, with revisions and a lot of work. And the people in the community have been very satisfied with what happened in their neighbor, and if they do likewise, you'll get a very happy community. So, thank you.
Phil, you want to get contact with him? Yeah. So he, at least give him, so he can give you a heads up, or you could get any information about that, the bus issues? Or information, or you have it already?
Yeah, so just, if you want me to respond immediately.
Well, go ahead. No, respond to him.
So, so we're actually closing curb cuts as part of this project. So we're going down to, what was it, 6? 4? Sorry, there were 6. So we are reducing the number of points of access to the property, which I think will help alleviate a little bit of that issue. But also, on the specific issue about Nelson Avenue, we did provide a construction, I'm calling it a construction disruption plan for protection and maintenance, so that we don't have to shut down Nelson Avenue, and we can manage traffic that way. So hopefully that will address the concern about buses going through there and construction. But obviously, that's something we will be communicating with them on
Okay,
as
so
needed.
that's what he's looking for,
Yeah.
communication about it.
Okay,
So maybe you can talk to him if you don't have it already.
not a problem.
You'll be after him.
Good evening, Phil Heckler, 28 J Street, Hicksville. Thank you for allowing me to speak before the board, appreciate it. I was a past president of the Hicksville School Board. I was past president for about 10 years. Executive committee of the Hicksville Garden Civic, and also a member of the DRI. when I got involved with the DRI about 15 years ago, a primary reason for myself and some in the audience here was that the downtown was becoming a street-level parking lot for commuters, out-of-town commuters who were paying in to pay parking lots. This property is a prime example of helping recapture some property from the street-level parking that was used by the monthly commuters, and will help increase the tax base for the school district. And hopefully will provide some affordable housing for the next generation that seems to be so difficult for them. I was going to read from this, but this is a Hicksville Garden newsletter, and it speaks to this property. I'll just read one sentence and I'll turn it over to you. It said, this $61 million project will not only bring new life to the heart of the town, but also eliminate underutilized private commuter parking lots. So we speak highly in favor of this.
Good, thank you for your comments. Who do I, oh, you next. You could be next, okay.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Lionel Chitty. I live at 4 Highland Street, West Hampton, New York. I am the current executive director for the Hicksville Chamber of Commerce. I'm the chair of the original Hicksville Downtown Revitalization Committee, and also was part of the local planning committee regarding the DRI. I appreciate and applaud Anthony Barone and his team for taking the time to actually listen to community concerns. As we went through this process over many, many years and many, many meetings, or dozens of meetings, that was always a big concern. And we wanted to make sure that we spoke to and were dealing with developers who took the time to actually listen to what the community was looking for. We've been talking about revitalization in this downtown area since 1969, and I was born in '68. So it's been a long time coming. The community's been involved. We've taken a look at these plans. It meets the fire department approvals, addresses parking concerns, also meets walkability needs, and also the appearance requirements. So again, we truly are happy and ecstatic that this is moving forward. I stood before the entire town board 10 years ago with the original plan, and I'm happy to see this moving. So we definitely are appreciative of this, and hopefully this can move forward. Thank you.
Good, thank you. Nick, you're next, after him.
Good evening, Board. Good evening, everybody. My name is Jeffrey Negron. I'm the president of the Northwest Civic Association of Hicksville, 21 Dakota Street. I don't want to belabor, but I do wanted to make it known that we, the Civic Association, heartily endorses this project. We believe that this particular area has so much potential, and we feel it's been neglected. And, speaking to the compliment, we also appreciate the remediation, both environmental and aesthetic. So I just wanted it to be known. I don't want to take too much time, and we also do appreciate the community outreach from the folks of the development.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, good evening. Eric Alexander, Director of Vision Long Island. My address is 24 Woodbine Avenue, Northport. We were the co-chairs of the Hicksville Downtown Revitalization Committee, and we worked for the Hicksville Community Council and Chamber of Commerce on the original Downtown Revitalization Plan that we started in 2010. That plan then morphed into the DRI and morphed into the town doing its own plan and code, which has all had community support all along. And now individual projects going forward before you with the great leadership of the town moving us forward. So just want to just three things. One, in context, since 2010, over 12 years, during that 12-year period, we were at street fairs. 75 to 95% of the people in the community said these types of projects we want to see in our downtown. We've been to over 100 meetings in the community. We've not seen pushback on this form of development within the business district. We've seen Now we've encouraged, developers to come forward to really meet with the existing civics, and you heard from some of them today in the Chamber of Commerce, and the Community Council, and all the appropriate, the school district, the fire department, all the important groups within the Hicksville community. So we've seen that move forward. So that's number one, backdrop. Number two, this developer, we've seen this developer do work in different parts of Long Island. One of the impetus of seeing Hicksville's revitalization was the good work in Farmingdale. And there was a cornerstone project in Farmingdale that then Legislator Rose Walker was part of the, ribbon cutting and groundbreaking in both. And I think she brought that message back to some folks in Hicksville that, hey, this is the right way to build, and this is a developer that works with the community, as you can tell, and we've seen that through the years. And then lastly, design matters, and the architecture on this is really at a nice high level, and I think we got that feedback from the community as we've been showing the renderings to different folks. So we've got nothing but positive feedback on this, and from our observation, I know we don't live in Hicksville, but we've been on top of this effort for a long time, and we're glad to see some progress, and you guys ask good questions too. So thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Dan Kosman. I live at 5 Abbott Lane, Hicksville, New York. I've been a resident for 34 years. My business is also located in Jericho for the last 12 years. As a longtime resident and local business owner, I care deeply about the future of Hicksville and the continued growth of our community. I'm here tonight in support of the new Cornerstone Hicksville project. Projects like this help ensure that future generations can continue to live, work, and invest in Hicksville. An investment of this scale sends a strong message that Hicksville is moving forward and positioning itself for long-term economic growth and revitalization. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name's Rich Gels. I'm from All Suffolk Plumbing, 1565 Sycamore Avenue, Bohemia, New York. I'm here to speak on behalf of labor. I'm a signatory of Local 200, Plumbers Local Union, and Plumbers Contractors Association of Long Island. I just want to say I have a long-standing relationship with Mr. Bartone and Mr. Terwilliger. I think I'm on my 5th or 6th project with him now. I think this project's not only going to be good for Hicksville, but for the greater Long Island area, providing good jobs for good people. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak? I got to give you credit. You did a lot of homework with civics and others. Did you want? No, you're just stretching? Good, okay. Anything else? No. Your final word?
We have nothing further. Thank you for all this time. I just want to say, with respect to the tweaking of the parking, I've been conferring with Mr. Aylward. We're confident we can address the comments from the board this evening. So if there's nothing further, we would really like an approval this evening, if that's the board's ilk.
Well, we'll see how you do.
That's what we're asking for. We would like to get started on the project in the first quarter of 2027, and we have about 2 years of construction. So this has been obviously a very long process. We've done our homework, so hopefully this will be our last check before we take that, big step. So
Okay, thank you. If there are no more comments, I'll entertain a motion, and maybe we could have that in the motion about the parking, Scott, about the parking, or we don't need it in? Okay, that'll take care of itself. Okay, I'll entertain a motion. Oh, they were working on trees off the exit for visibility, or is that in progress?
That will be accommodated in the DPW comments, yes. We've had conversations with DPW.
Oh,
That was
okay,
part
so
of it,
that's
for sure.
ongoing now?
Exactly,
Okay.
it'll be
Okay.
rectified through the
All
DPW's
right,
process.
okay. All right, entertain a motion on the application?
I'll make a motion to approve the application as presented.
Second? Second,
Who was the second?
Second.
okay. Any other comments? No?
Okay,
Call
voting
the
on the
roll.
motion by Member Burns, seconded by Member Chabina. Chairman Stanko.
Aye.
Member Chabina.
Aye.
Member Warner.
Aye.
Member Castellane.
Aye.
Member Spinelli.
Aye.
Member Byrne votes aye. Chairman, it passes.
Okay, thank you and good luck with the project.
Thank you very much.
And get in touch with the bus guy.
You dropped your pen, and you fuck. God, you're a mess. What are you going to get?
Okay, we have one more hearing tonight, so maybe you could just take the conversation outside or into the lobby. Okay, the final item this evening is 321 Newbridge Road in Hicksville, New York, 11801.
Good
The
evening.
applicant is seeking a site plan approval from the Planning Advisory Board in accordance with the town's site design standards. This site plan application proposes the construction of an addition to the existing house and the construction of a future second house on the proposed subdivided lot. The applicant will also seek approval from the town board to make modifications to the existing restrictive covenants associated with the subject premises instituted on July 5th, 1994, through Town Board Resolution 68-95, which permitted the applicant to operate and maintain a home office in the Residence Office Zoning District. The proposed use for the subject property is a permitted use pursuant to Chapter 246, Table 5.2 of the Code of the Town of Oyster Bay.
Correspondence.
Good evening.
Correspondence?
Good evening.
Oh, any correspondence on this application?
Yes, Chairman. We have a memo from the Zoning Division dated May 12, 2025, stating the subject property located at 321 Newbridge Road, Hicksville, New York, 11801, has a Nassau County Land and Tax Map designation of Section 45, Block 531, Lot 29, and is located within the RO Residence Office Zoning District on the town zoning maps. We have a memo from the Department of Environmental Resources dated March 11, 2026, classifying this project as a Type 2 for the purposes of seeker. We have a memo for the Code Enforcement Bureau dated May 13th, 2025, stating that there are no open code cases for the subject property. Chairman, since this memo is several months old, the Planning Division contacted the Code Enforcement Bureau this week, and there are currently no open code cases. We have memos from the town's Department of Public Works Highway Division dated May 8th, 2025, and Engineering Division dated May 12th, 2025, stating they have reviewed the site plans and have no objections. We have a highway work permit from New York State Department of Transportation dated October 1st, 2025. We have resolution number 10,650-26 adopted on May 14th, 2026 from the Nassau County Planning Commission recommending local determination. We have a memo from the Planning Division dated April 20th, 2026 stating the required parking for the subject property is 4 parking spaces and 4 parking spaces have been provided. We have a memo from the Planning Division dated April 20th, 2026, stating the division has conducted a review in accordance with Chapter 246, Section 6, Site Plan Review of the Code of Town of Oyster Bay, and is referring the site plan to the Planning Advisory Board for appropriate action. And we have the affidavit of sign posting and the affidavit of mailing from the applicant.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, Chairman and members of the board. Elizabeth Kashignano for the applicant, Son Ward Braff Kashignano, 333 Earl Ovington Boulevard, Suite 601, Uniondale, New York. I represent the applicant, and the managing member, Jonathan Miller, is here with me this evening. on April 8th, 2005, we did submit an application to rescind the modify or rescind the restrictive covenants on the subject property. Town Board Office then referred the matter for review. We have done the required mailings, and everything has been sent in. So what we have here is we're requesting site plan approval to expand the existing single-family dwelling with office on the proposed parcel A. It's just office now, right? Yeah, it's just office on proposed parcel A, and to create parcel B and construct a new single-family dwelling. Single-family dwellings are permitted in the RO district, so we do not need a change of zone in order to effectuate this subdivision. Currently, the subject premises contains 12,716 and a half square feet in lot area. They are located on Newbridge Road. They abut Bernadette Court, and it is a slightly irregularly shaped parcel located in Hicksville, Town of Oyster Bay, identified on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map as Section 45, Block 531, Lot 29. These same premises were the subject of a rezoning application in 1994, where the town changed the zone from D Residence District at the time to an RO Residence Office District to permit the use of a law office at the property. The town board granted that change of zone by resolution dated January 10th, 1995, resolution number 68-95. It was also subject to the execution of a declaration of restrictive covenants. Those covenants and restrictions relate directly to the office use in the RO district, and as such will be moot because this will be a single-family dwelling moving forward, which is permitted in the RO district. The zoning of the properties adjacent to the subject premises, they're all located in the R17 residential zoning district. These homes that will be on will not require any variances at all. They'll be fully zoning compliant. And the application, if granted, will obviously have to go to the Nassau County Planning Commission for a minor subdivision approval. Both driveways will be on Newbridge. We do have a permit for that curb cut from the New York State Department of Transportation. The proposal will create a parcel A comprising of the northern portion of the existing property, which contains the current structure, and will have 6,714.28 square feet in lot area. And the proposal will also create parcel B on the southern portion of the property and will consist of 6,002.3 square feet in lot area. The RO zone requires a minimum of 6,000 square feet in lot area, and therefore they will both be zoning compliant. So we do not require any area or use variances, and there are no outstanding special use permit applications affecting the subject premises. Do you have any questions at this time? It's surrounded by residential uses. There's really no other.
You said all
uses.
R17, right? You were going quick. You said the
Yeah.
neighboring properties are R17?
Those are R17, yes.
Is the existing house now a residence, or is it an office?
It's used as an office, correct? Yes. So
sorry?
it's used as an office now, but it will be changed to a single-family dwelling.
Changed to a
Yeah, there
residence?
will no longer be an office use there.
Okay.
The previous covenants and restrictions restricted it to only office, so, we need them modified, otherwise we can't put we can't make it a single-family dwelling.
But just so it's known, I mean, if somebody were to buy one of these residences after they're done, they still would have the right to apply for a building permit for an office within that house. Am I right, Scott?
By the zoning, you're correct, but there may be restrictive covenants to town board.
Yeah,
if they
the
approve.
town board will probably
They may
rescind those restrictive covenants
Yeah.
and issue new ones with a condition that they are a single-family dwelling only.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 2 will be torn down and all new. The proposed second story, the
So
second one.
There's only one structure on the property now. The second one will be a brand-new dwelling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the one on the south side is going to be
Yeah.
a brand-new dwelling? This exists, and we're just adding an addition, because right now it's only a two-bedroom home, so he would like to make it a four-bedroom home.
Do you have the square footage for the new home construction, or just
The new dwelling?
the new dwelling? Yeah.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't think they've gotten that far yet in architectural.
Any questions? No. Anyone wish to speak on the application?
Hi, good evening. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I am Janet Aluska. I live right behind that property, 9 Bernadette Court. I just want to find out, I've been living there since 1990, okay? And I was told, my friend owned that home prior to me moving there, and I was told it was a piece of historic property. So I don't know if that can be looked up or what, and they weren't allowed to do anything outside of the initial structure.
The
of that building.
existing one-story dwelling?
Yes,
is-
the one
is-
that's
is
there, they weren't
historic?
allowed to do anything outside of what was there. This is going back, I know, but I just wanted that brought to your attention.
I don't know, they researched it pretty well. What do you think?
So she might be referring to the covenants and restrictions regarding the use, which as an office, it was only restricted to be used as an office at that time.
All right, because my friend lived there before that in it was a private residence. And I know they had petition going on, so many different things, and everything was shut down.
I don't know.
There's nothing in the records regarding the landmark.
I don't know, well, that's
Yeah.
what they said. It was a historic landmark, and that's why nothing was allowed to be done.
Look, you've researched that property pretty well.
Yeah, no, we pulled all the town records. There's
All
nothing
right.
about a landmark.
Okay, well, that's all I wanted to check.
Okay.
And prior, I just have a question. The town of Oyster Bay, is the landlord supposed to be living in the dwelling? Or are they allowed to rent it out, the whole thing,
Scott?
without the landlord being present?
When you say, does the landlord have to live there, are you meaning in a two-family house?
Right.
So a two-family house is required to go to the zoning board, and by today's standards, it's usually a requirement, it's in the code that it has to be owner-occupied. There have been some that have been approved in the past, before that code existed. There's some also that have been awarded judgments, where the town denied them, and then a judge overruled the town's decision and didn't require the owner-occupied feature. So you'd have to give a specific property, but if you
All
have
right,
one in
yeah,
mind, you
no,
can.
I was just curious about
Yeah.
that.
So today, if you went for a two-family, there's parameters, and then you have to go to the zoning board of appeals, and yes, it would have to be owner-occupied.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay. Anyone else wish to speak?
Good evening, Jay Singh, 1 Bernadette Court. I live in the cul-de-sac where this is being proposed. I just moved in about 2 years ago. We're the little Bernadette family, just 3 houses in the cul-de-sac. I was just hoping that there would be a way to enforce the construction hours to ensure that, nothing is done on off days or beyond the hours permitted, and to preserve like the peace and quiet of the cul-de-sac. It's a very private cul-de-sac. We get no traffic, nothing comes in and out of there. It's very nice having a newborn and not having any noise around, so to ensure that none of that happens there. We obviously welcome what's happening, but just to ensure the privacy.
Scott, what are the rules?
So, yeah, if the rules for construction are 7 to 10, Monday through Saturday, no construction on Sundays, no construction on holidays.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, anyone else wish to speak? Okay, there being none, do you have any closing?
No, I mean, that's all our presentation. We would hope that if, you know, if the
Okay.
board would grant the subdivision plan tonight, we would appreciate it, that the site plan.
Okay. All right, I'll entertain a motion on this application.
I make a motion to approve the plans as submitted.
Is there a second?
Second. Okay, voting on the motion by Member Warner, seconded by Member Byrne. Chairman Stanko?
Aye.
Member Tribina?
Aye.
Member Warner?
Aye.
Member Castellane?
Aye.
Member Spinelli?
Aye.
Member Byrne votes aye. Chairman, the motion carries.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good
Motion-
evening, everybody.
Okay, thank you, and motion to adjourn?
Motion.
So moved.
You make that one.
So moved.
Not bad.
Second.
You look at him.
What did you drop now? I gotta check you every time. I gotta check you every time, just to